Hello everyone, I hope I find well. Welcome to my channel. In this video, mainly I want to talk about the removal of weeds from this field. Okay, I started yesterday removing weeds from this field using a hoe. Okay, so weeds must be removed because they choke the plants. Okay, before I go in detail about removal of weeds, I think you can see that the plants are thriving quite well on this piece of land. As you can see, they've got large dark green leaves showing that they've got enough plant protein from nitrogen, and they don't have yellow leaves or chlorosis showing that they have enough phosphorus which is needed for root growth, proper root growth. Okay, and the plants are not, they don't have purplish leaves, which is a sign of lacking potassium, which is needed for flowering and fruit formation. And you can see that they are dark green, showing that also they've enough magnesium, which is needed for formation of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green pigment. Okay, this green coloring, which helps the plants to absorb sunlight energy for photosynthesis. I hope you know what is photosynthesis, which is the photosynthesis is just the process whereby green plants manufacture their own food, okay, using sunlight energy, which would be trapped by this green chlorophyll. Okay, so these plants are having enough nutrients from this field, or in this field. I haven't applied inorganic fertilizers up to now. There are nutrients already in this field. Maybe people may wonder where did the nutrients, the organic manure came from, which is nourishing these plants in this field. This area, piece of land, where people used to throw litter and household waste on this piece of land. Okay, so I had to remove the litter and the unnecessary stuff which was thrown here, and this left some residues, which are now the nutrients which are nourishing these plants. So honestly speaking, there are no fertilizers artificial fertilizers on this field, just natural. Okay, but even though I haven't applied inorganic fertilizers, the plants are doing quite well. So I want to remove weeds today. That's the main task of this video. Okay, so I want to showcase the removal of weeds. So I'll be using this hand tool here, this hoe. Okay, to remove the weeds from this field, I'm going to use this hoe. Some people suggested that I should buy chemicals to spray on this field which will destroy the weeds, but I decided only to use this hand tool because it saves me money on the other end, and on the other end, this field is relatively small compared to those big commercial farms. So I realized that using a hand tool gives me the opportunity also to exercise my body, and also saves me a bit of money, at least also exercising my body. On the other end, you can see, I think you know that chemicals are not good for the environment. Yes, I will spray. Let's say I bought those chemicals and I sprayed on the field. They will destroy the weeds, yes, but on the other end, they affect other organisms which are not supposed to die. Okay, so mainly, if it's a small field like this, I think the natural way is the best thing to remove weeds, using natural or cultural methods like using a hoe, like as I will do. So I started removing weeds yesterday. Okay, but I haven't finished yet, so I want to start removing them this morning. It's around 7 a.m. here, so it's a bit cooler. So I want to use this hoe to remove the weeds from the field. Weeds choke the plants. They are not good for the plants. The weeds are not good for the plants. They choke the plants because they compete with the plants for nutrients, for sunlight, for water. And when they compete with the plants, usually they win. They choke the plants and affect their growth. As you can see, this middle section of the field has got some maize plants which are relatively shorter compared to the others because there were weeds here yesterday. But I managed to remove them using the hoe, and I carried those weeds, and some of them are here, and some of them I've put them here. So I removed them from the field because they have a tendency of taking root again, of growing, of sprouting again when the rains come because they are stubborn. They don't die easily. So I decided that after removing them using a hoe, I had to carry them out of the field. Okay, so some of them are here, some of the weeds. So I realized that it is better to remove them and pile them somewhere than to just leave them where I would have removed them using a hoe. They sprout again. Okay, so the weeds are not good. They choke the plants, and also they provide shelter for the pests, so they need to be removed. So after I remove of weeds, these maize plants in this middle section of the field will improve. They will improve because there are no competitors. Okay, so fortunately also in this season we don't have worms. Usually in the past seasons, past planting seasons, for example, in the 2024 to 2025 planting season, our crops were affected by worms. Though we managed them, and at the end of the day, it got a better yield. But in this season, crops are not around. I think it's because we are receiving abundant rains. So I think the worms detest rain. They die when there is too much rain. So the plants are happy. They are thriving quite well. They are lush green leaves. Okay. Also, it's a good thing to do your backyard agriculture because it helps you to get fresh maize whenever you want it than to buy from people who sell maize. Because some people will sell their maize after maybe having removed the maize from the field 2 days or so, and then you buy them 2 days later or 3 days later, the maize crops or cobs will not be fresh. They would have lost their taste. They would have lost their original taste. But when you do your own thing, when you do your own farming like this, I can have fresh maize whenever I want to. And if it dries, I will take it to the grinding mill, and they will grind it so that I can have maize meal, which is also useful in the home because we use it to prepare our staple diet sadza in this region. Okay, so urban agriculture is good. If you have a piece of land, just utilize it productively. Remember, these plants, I planted them using seeds which were preserved from pests by keeping them in the freezer, in the deep freezer. I think you can check my previous videos about the history of these maize plants, and you can see they are doing quite well. It's about a 30 meters by 20 meters field, which is about 600 square meters. Okay, so it's a relatively big field. Okay, especially in the urban settings. Fortunately, we are receiving good abundant rains this season. In the 2024 to 2025 planting season, I had to use irrigation using tap water to water the plants when the rains were scarce. Yes, I had to use tap water. Tap water here is very cheap compared maybe to other countries. I in my household, the whole month just need less about five US dollars to pay the bill for tap water. So it's very cheap. In fact, not tap water only. In this nation, Zimbabwe, there are some relatively cheaper services or commodities compared to other regions. Maybe if I find time, I'll talk more about the cheap stuff or cheaper stuff in our nation. If I find time, I'll prepare a video about some of the cheap commodities in my nation here. And one of them is electricity, and I'll talk more about those things maybe later in later videos. But mainly today, we are in the field, touring the field, and also I want to remove weeds so that they won't choke the plants. But you can see the plants are thriving quite well. They are doing well. They are doing well. No inorganic fertilizers. I haven't put them yet. Maybe in the coming weeks I'll put them so that I can have a better yield. Okay, I will tell you if I'm applying or if I've applied the inorganic fertilizers so that the plants can have so I can have a better yield. Okay, so let me get to business using this saw to remove the weeds, using this saw in this field. Okay, so as you can see, these are some of the weeds which I removed yesterday using the saw, and some of them I had to pull them using my own hands. Okay, so I must carry these weeds from this field and put them and pile them up out there where there are others, so that when the rains come, they don't sprout again. Okay, so usually when I remove the weeds, I carry them out of the field and put them. Some are here and some are here so that they can dry out in the sun than to leave them in the ground in the field. They are stubborn. They can take root again and start to be a menace to the plants. Okay, so these are some of the weeds which I removed yesterday. So I'll carry them out of the field. Okay, so here I'm starting from here, going downwards. As you can see, these are some of the weeds which must be removed so that they don't compete with the plants. This is not my first time removing the weeds from in this field, but they are stubborn. They sprout back, and I think they've got many seeds in the ground, which if you remove those which would have grown, some will sprout again, because I think they've got many seeds. These weeds have more seeds in this field. But I'm not giving up. I'll keep on removing them so that my plants I can have healthy plants. Okay. So this is the simple tool which I'm going to use to remove the weeds. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.